carrying cocaine for America, bound for military airfields in Florida and Texas, offloaded out of sight of the law, then shipped to California and other points in the U.S. And there's more. Castillo says when he reported all of this to his bosses at the DEA, he was told to ignore it.
So you were told point blank? Point blank, stay away from it. It's a covert operation being run by the White House.
In a letter to Dateline, the Drug Enforcement Administration said it has vigorously investigated, and no evidence has ever been found to substantiate Mr. Castillo's charges. As for the CIA, it's denied ever aiding or condoning drug smuggling.
Reports were reaching the highest councils of our government, in the White House and in the Justice Department. There is no question of that. I can document that.
The White House and Justice Department disputed Kerry's report at the time, but he still believes some government officials turned a blind eye towards drug dealing in the mid-1980s, after the time at the heart of Gary Webb's stories. There were no indictments or prosecutions.
Hello, it is September 28th, 2004. We got about 50 minutes and 10 seconds left in this live transmission. Against Tyranny, thank you for joining us. I have over 3 hours of media whitewashes and investigations from the mid-1990s up until about 1999 concerning government trafficking in narcotics. Actually, Kerry, playing the part of the good cop there, was involved in whitewashing the reports. Then he plays the part of the guy coming out and exposing the government, but limiting the damage in damage control. This is how they do it. Our government has been dealing narcotics since it was legal, bringing in laudanum, opium, that's then turned into heroin. Laudanum was sold on street corner drugstores. Coca-Cola had cocaine in it. They then made it illegal so they could cut out the competition, jack up the prices, then own their own private prisons where they put your children in them if they catch them using drugs. I've interviewed Terry Reed, who was there at Mina unloading the cocaine, witnessing it. I've had family who worked in covert operations in the early 1980s who witnessed stuff like this. They were in separate operations in Guatemala, El Salvador, Nicaragua. This is the reality. They didn't just start dealing drugs in the 1980s. And when they got caught doing it, they said, well, it was to fight communism. Well, let me tell you, a plane load of cocaine can buy about 20 plane loads of machine guns. So it isn't like they're flying out a plane load of cocaine to then buy guns and fly them back, because the government didn't have the secret funds to ship guns to Nicaragua, El Salvador, and Colombia. It's a joke. But the low-level pilots and military men, yeah, we're shipping cocaine in to fight the darn commies. That's always the cover story, so well-meaning people in the system will carry all of this out. So I thought I would air that newscast. And from time to time, here on the show, I'm going to bring other newscasts from the 80s and 90s back and try to get people talking about this again, because it's well documented and it's not in our media anymore. Even the CIA's own Solicitor General's report admitted that rogue assets were dealing drugs. Give me a break, folks. Skull and Bones, that Kerry and Bush belonged to, was founded publicly in 1832 with opium money, the Russell Trust. And the elite controls this $300 billion a year industry. $300 billion a year in just cocaine and heroin alone in the United States. And then when your kids are dumb enough to use it, they throw them in one of the private prisons that the drug-dealing families own. So they bring in the drugs, make the money, then they round you up when you use it and put you in their private prisons. They even own the private security companies that sell the weapons and armored vehicles to your police departments. The drug dealers profit not just from the drugs, but from the war, the crisis they create. Problem, reaction, solution.